Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, CCG Esports fans. I'm WX Fan 21. He is Inflict, AppCon producing Inflict. The dynamic duo this season is back together again here in the playoffs. How are ya?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. CCG currently sitting in the losers bracket, top 16 in the advanced playoffs. We've had some interesting matchups in the playoffs so far, and among the last five maps that CCG have played, four of them have went to OT, and it seems like the days are
Please,
only
no
getting
more
better.
OT. No more OT, please.
You'll probably get some. You haven't been around for
Please
OTs.
stop.
You deserve some, man.
I've
You haven't
watched them
seen
after the other
any.
games I've passed it, and then I go to bed and you guys are
It's
still playing.
different. It's different when you're on the desk.
Oy vey. All I'm saying is please no OTs tonight. Please no. Anyway, we got a real barn burner here for you. CCG Esports versus G3. Let's take a look at the rosters. Your starting roster for CCG, of course, is Floor Idiot, JJ Chinchilla, Jay Casper, Corin, and Trip. And the starters for G3, Calamuse, TMK, Dante Morin, Arvarast, and I don't even know how to say the other starter's name.
Well, that's Neo, N2O, and then AMS. That's what I just read.
Neoams. Okay, got it. Don't
Well,
know
I'm
how a
just
2 is an E,
reading
but
it.
sure.
Yeah, CS:GO. Sorry, CS2, not Go. We're way past that
It's
point,
all
but
good. The
yeah.
vetoes today are interesting, though, Inflict. We get CCG picking Overpass. G3 picked an Ancient, and Anubis as our decider. Some really interesting choices.
And I mean, quite honestly, I actually called it before this. I called it off stream, so call me a genius or anything. But both of these teams actually have a very similar map pool to each other. Both of these teams have played quite a lot of Ancient and Anubis. CCG not as much Ancient in this regular season, but in the past 2-3 seasons, they've played quite a lot of it, and they are still are pretty familiar with it. They have had some games on it in the playoffs as well. Uh, Overpass, both of these teams have had their experiences on this map in the playoffs solely, not as much in the regular season. Same is the case for both of these teams. The only difference really becomes where CCG prefers Nuke. We see G3 playing Mirage in the regular season a lot more. But other than that, exactly the same. Hence why we see three maps where both of these teams are going to be relatively good at. So the possibility of OT is actually much more higher than it was in the previous matchups. The first one, Overpass. Second, Ancient. Third, Anubis. Both of these teams really good at it. It's what brought them to the playoffs, and we head to the very first round of this losers bracket matchup. Whoever wins two maps continues their journey in the playoffs. Whoever doesn't, well, they go home.
Yeah, that is for sure. And this is a lower bracket round 3 matchup. And again, so this match is winner of this goes on to play against Strife. Loser is done for the season. Really interesting here. Look at the execute here onto A already by the side of CCG. Calamuse peeks
Oh,
up. Beautiful boost. Bomb does go down there.
a flank at long might be problematic. Trip has to be careful, but instead just falls to TMK. Floridia, the captain in a 1v3, can only do so much. Will eventually fall as TMK puts 3 kills on board for the retake, and the first round goes the way of G3.
It's a pistol. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Move on. Bomb planted. Double buy round coming out.
but given how many pistol rounds CCG have conceded, this is not good. I mean, CCG needs to start getting stronger, and this was something that Floridian mentioned in his last interview as well. They're lacking sometimes, not even sometimes actually, quite often in their pistol rounds. Sometimes they can get it, sometimes they can win it out clearly, but in the most cases, if they are able to win it, it's just been off of either a gamble or they've straight up lost those pistol rounds. So you need to have those good starts to each half and map to just have that early momentum going in your way because it can have a massive effect on the game.
Oh, 100%. So interesting to know, even though CCG did get a bomb plant, there is zero force buy here. They have elected to have a very small eco with Tech 9s
Oh,
And we're going to see how that pays off. And so far,
love this.
the Tech 9's proving much more powerful against the rifles. It's a 4. What? 1v5 left, and forget the pistols. Just give them all the conversions you want.
Everybody except Trip has found a kill. The kill conversion absolutely insane behind those Tech 9 CCG. Sure, they lose the pistol, but that's one good way to shut my mouth. I mean, winning straight afterwards, didn't even invest quite a lot of money, as you said. Even though they got the bomb down, they surprisingly didn't force into this one and still have managed to pretty much pull the round away. They've picked up 3 rifles. Sure, they do not have armors or nor any utility to keep TMK off, but the likely scenario is TMK himself wants to save this M4 because the 3 weapons are already passed on. Best case scenario, you get traded out for and find 1 or 2 frags on your way out because you're already extremely weak, tagged down to 16 HP. So this is around pretty much done and dusted for CCG.
Oh, yeah, this was an absolutely outstanding and beautiful round execute here. Just off the backs of these Tech 9s. Proves to be pivotal, and say what you want. The duels were really, really good. And I think they're going to want that one back if you're the side of G3.
Oh,
Oh, well, you floor idiot. Come on. They're going to want that one back. And why are they going to want that one back? As a timeout is immediately called from G3. Hopefully they're all not swearing at each other. They're going to want that
might
back
be.
because I do think they over-regressed a bit. I really do. They over-regressed on a conversion round, and that costed them.
I mean, some of those peaks were solely to get information or just to make up for the player that died early on over towards connector. We saw the player who was over towards party jump down a little bit, try to take a peek and perhaps try and neutralize the man advantage that CCG had taken. But it actually they just ended up losing those fights as well, which put the rest of the players a lot more under pressure, and hence they had to make up for it, and it just didn't go their way. CCG, pretty much all of them putting up headshots to close out the thing, and Florida almost found TMK through through that slide as well. But a force buy coming in from the side of G3 this time around. Not pretty buy though. All 4 of the remaining players except TMK are just working with pistols. They only have 1 flash to work with. One player has bought up full armor and a full Kevlar and helmet in case TMK falls. He can pick up that weapon and try and make up for it. But
Oh, Inflict, what can you do? You
yeah,
lose a conversion round to Tech 9s. There's really not much that you can do here. You try forcing due to the CT side of the economy. And Chinchilla should have this kill towards Connector. Oh, a beautiful... That Connector player is trapped. Floor Elite is trapped. Floor Idiot, though, gonna warm up his toesies a little bit through that Molotov.
yeah.
And Inflict, I kind of like what we're seeing out of CCG. We got fountain control, party control, divider control. I was going to say, almost didn't have long control, but pushed that guy along bathrooms. CCG looking to execute over here towards A as the rest of G3 have rotated up to A, so CCG are walking into a stack. Not that
Yeah,
apparently it's going to make that much of a difference, as Corin has
they're
decided to
good.
put his big boy pants on, and he is stepping up in a massive way here. Tripto backing up his teammates. And can TMK, with this one rifle, save the round? 24 seconds, and the bomb
Flank.
is trapped A.
Chinchilla all the way back. Timing's gonna be everything. Florida needs to keep him distracted, and he's fallen. TMK is not this possible, but didn't expect Chinchilla to be all the way back. Wise
Nicely
move
done. Was that
from
a flank
JJ.
from Chinchilla, I think?
Yeah, he went all the way from connector to B to set up that flank. And although
Nicely done.
TMK and Obi collectively put up 4 kills and make that round extremely close, but really big brain activity from Jay and Chinchilla to close out the second round, and hence the economy once again in shambles for the CT side, as is the norm of CS2 right now. But we see one MP9 being force bought in. I'm not really sure what's the thought process behind that one, because they have no utility to sort of aggressively set them up either. So it's just going to be sort of a gamble there.
For Sure, that's something I'm writing down, taking some notes here, folks. My apologies. It was a beautiful flank from Chinchilla. He's just hanging out, looking at
Timings could be
ladder. I mean, it's a
everything.
very pretty connector, Chinchilla. There are no rats. Nothing's
Yeah.
coming. Look at Calamity, though. Able to rush trip on the lurk, get a gun. And that is huge here for Calamity.
And
Now,
now
see,
CCG have to make up for it.
yeah, see, look, CCG didn't really lose much of anything. They got a lot of saved rifles from that conversion round, so this was their first true buy.
Oh,
But this angle from Calamity is just not fair.
I mean, as I said, that MP9, it was just bought in to be a gamble, and that's what it was. He played that gamble with some timing on to trip, and it worked out in his favor. He was able to set it up, and now CCG have been on the run to try to deny that rifle, and in the process have actually lost two rifles instead and lost the round as a result. An eco. Only one MP9 bought in, and the conversion behind it absolutely fantastic from G3. But the match has been paused. Surprising from G3 themselves. I guess they want to talk things through, make sure that they're much more efficient in their buy round this time around. And like the last time, where they ended up just dying to Tech Nines.
Look, that angle is not something that you expect at all if you're really anyone ever playing this map. I've never really seen that angle held like that before, so shout out to Calamity. Really well done angle, but now it's two eco rounds. Quote unquote ecos, that one each going each way of each team here. Again, this is where things get interesting. Two MAC 10s for the side of CCG. You got the AK saved over, a rifle, and a full investment in utility from the side of G3. Now, as I'm sure you know, Inflict,
Yeah,
this tends to be more of a CT-sided map.
yeah.
So 2-2, anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, good start. Honestly, CCG is still not completely out of this round either. I
No,
mean, they do have three AKs to work with, a decent
it's a
chunk of
good
utility
start
as
from
well.
both teams. Looking really, really solid right now as Neo
Oh.
Ams just gets bulleted through the you-know-what in the worst way. I don't know what was that, taking bullets to the rear end or getting an animer shoved up there. Okay, I'm totally kidding. Calamity is not going to have no choice. Fast
Oh, good nade.
rotating in. Three players from the side of G3 stuck by Dumpster and Bank. This is the one part of Overpass I'm not the biggest fan of, Inflict.
Oh,
Beautifully done from Floor Idiot. This is the one part of being a CT I don't like on Overpass. The two ways that you have to get up to A from B are usually very well covered.
Yeah, I mean, retake's a little bit more difficult, but hence why we see a lot of those retake executions being set up through connector as well, where teams
Right.
try to go for a pinch. But you need to have enough manpower for that. That just wasn't the case for G3. They had tried to play with early resistance, and they got smoked off. They were already working with a two-man disadvantage, so realistically, they had no shot at it. TMK, though, still once again being the sole survivor, at least for the time being, and actually till the end as well, was able to save that rifle, defuse kit, and that armor. A couple of nades, but got three or four players out in while walking himself to the next round. So that's going to be a lot of economical damage done to CCG, but they're not going to worry about it too much since they got the bomb down, have enough money to buy up in this round particularly, but it might come back to haunt them if they lose this round.
Oh, 100%. Now, interestingly to note here, right? One of the biggest things that we have seen from both of these teams is resilience. And these are teams that some of the best that Advanced have to offer this season. Now, just to go
Yeah,
back to my original point about the retaking of A, coming up from B the normal way, not through connector, where you have
yeah,
long bath, divider. There are other ways to retake it, but that's the long way around. The usual quickest ways are either through dumpster or bank, and
not
they
again.
just make things really difficult. So, but what's making things difficult right now, apparently, is Calamity, who does not give a damn.
Time
Floridian makes
to.
them pay, though.
Yeah, but damage already been done. CCG, only two pairs remaining, both of them quite far away. Actually, never
That's
mind, they're
just
right
rude.
next to each other. But Look at how G3 are reacting to this. All of them getting aggressive, taking map control, limiting the space that CCG have to work with immediately. They've sent three players over towards B though, which is quite surprising. Only one player to defend A, and if CCG are able to pick them off, should be an easy bomb plan for them. And a 2 versus 3 retake is certainly possible. Take Asper, good frag.
Oh, beautiful kill.
Bomb should go down behind it. Oh
Casper
no,
had no choice. Planting back dice is risky.
nice headshot. 1v2. No utility to help him out. No HP either.
He's got one flash. No
No
good,
chance
though.
to use it.
Really tough. Again, planting back dice there. Floor Idiot immediately getting killed. I think he just kind of stuck it for the money. Knowing the economy that they were going into in this next round, already losing 4 people. Really difficult. But at the end of the day, we see an XM that I think was bought that someone will pick up. Nope, elects to go with the MP9. And 3-3, this has been very back and forth. I don't think either of these teams have a 2-round win streak, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they've had a 2-round win streak, but they haven't had a 2-round lead so far. And I mean, honestly, Calamity, with how good he has been with the MP9, with how crucial he has been in with that MP9, you can't really blame him for wanting to go with that. Again, CCG though, once again trying that Tech 9 thing this time around a lot more aggressively. Hence, nothing fruitful comes out of it as a flawless round goes the way of G3 up 4-3. That's 2 rounds in a row, but still not only a 1-round lead. As CCG are going to be buying back into this one.
Yeah, not a lot to talk about there. It's a 4-3 lead for the side of G3, and CCG is showing why this is their map pick. They are starting to find themselves here, and whether or not G3 have had a lot of exposure to this map as a team, we know how good CCG can be in our remaining 2 maps of Ancient and Anubis should we need to decide a map of Anubis. And it'll be interesting. I don't think it's overstating it to say that CCG need to win Overpass.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, I might just give Ancient G3 an advantage on Ancient because of how many more times they've played it in the recent season. CSG, not the case. I don't believe they've played it even a single time in the regular season. Sure, they have a lot of experience on it in the prior ones, but this league so far, not a lot of reps on it. Not the case for G3 though. Quite a lot of ancients in there, so that might we might be heading to Anubis, but again, that's gonna be something to deal with later. We are very early into the game and the series. Calamity, how does he constantly do this? And MP9 headshot at that range is absolutely brutal. Does get traded out. Floridia denies him that second frag this time around. Hence the round resets 4 versus 4. CCG now moving over towards B. The player over towards water has probably heard him. It's going to be Sue with a highly impactful positioning. He's good for one. Gonna back off and try to play that man advantage. Asprey neutralizes.
3v3, very winnable for both of these teams here.
I like this. CCG has sent one player over towards toilet, rushing over towards A to gain some attention. While the rest of the two can sneak up. The timing! They're looking away! Eventually Korn spots him, and that's the entry they needed. The bomb can go down. Both of the remaining players were at A. And the third player
Nicely
immediately
done.
comes back. Didn't need that one, but can't complain.
What a shot! Somebody give Neo Ams a cookie.
1v2.
With an op on B, really
And
tough to
Herd.
do. Yeah, Herd, Corin gets it. 4-4. Our lovely producer today is Apcon. Apcon, if you could be as of so kind, if you could hit tab, let's take a look at the kill count and round win feed here.
DMK
Right
is
after this
sitting
replay.
13 and 2. Yeah, replays are important because I'm actually surprised by how many kills Calamity has gotten just off of MP9s. He has 7 frags.
Yeah, look
Six
at
of them
this.
at 6 of them are 100% off of
13
MP9s.
and 2 for TMK.
Yeah.
Just let that sink in. 13 and 2 for TMK. 2-round win streak for CCG and a 2-round win streak for G3. This is really back and forth. Corin and Floridia each have 8 kills apiece. Thank you, Appcom. We greatly appreciate that. You can just kind of see how very evenly back and forth this is, with the exception of
Yeah.
TMK, who's just taken the whole team on his back at this point.
Yeah, and I want to mention that absolutely insane play from CCG. Then whoever gave that call, props to them. It was probably Florida being the IGL, but to send that one player from connector very quickly over towards A to force that rotation for 2 players, and then get just Goran getting the timing right was everything they needed in the last round, but not the start. They did not need that one. Neo, good with the over towards connector, looking for a second. The timing's immaculate for Floridian, as both of them saw each other jumping together. It was like a fairy tale, but Floridian is the only one with a happily ever after ending to that fight. Maybe not ever after. This round still has a lot more to offer, but
Definitely a lot more to offer still here. 2 players, though, taking connector and short control. Florida, it's going to cross right into it. Calamity, no problem whatsoever.
oh, timing. Bad timing. Trips found the gap. Gonna have to hold down connector, and the timing once again works out in his favor. Trip, absolutely fantastic as the lurker yet again for CCG, standing out as he's taken over B all by himself. Now they
One,
just have to hold on.
one coming up, and the only one left is TMK over here towards Divider. Was getting joined by Orbeez, or Orbilite,
Obi.
and that's a
There's no,
save.
there's
There's
no
no
Orbi.
point in going for it. You have no kit.
Yeah, and you're weak as well. DMK once again with the save, still holding on to those 2 deaths. Although they've lost 5 rounds now, he just refuses to die them. I can't tell if he wants those personal stats to look pretty or what.
I, th-
But
I
DMK
think
is
he's
certainly good.
playing really well. And he
Yeah,
follows it up!
still do 2 deaths. But I mean, honestly, this back and forth between both of these 2 teams, I think CCG, even if the end result of the first half is a 6-6 scoreline, I think that's an advantage for CCG because, as you mentioned earlier, this map is theoretically speaking, at the very least, a CT-sided map.
Yeah, exactly like I was saying earlier. This typically is more of a CT sided map. Slightly. I wouldn't say super CT sided, but it's definitely more of a CT sided map.
Yeah, I mean there
And
are
this,
more balanced maps than this, I'd
yeah,
say.
this should be a round that CCG wins.
But there are 2 MP9s and an op, and we've seen the damage only one MP9 can do. So, okay, so might just get sued by Obi there for that team damage, but that's something that they'd have to deal with later down the line. Right now, they have 5 more troubles that they need to deal with. One of them, well, that Jake Asper's
There's that
gone,
saved op coming into play.
and now CCG on the back foot. Good news for them, the rifle couldn't get picked up with Jake Asper dropped, but CCG might just be running into 3 players. Sue heard, so that's going to be some information, but Chinchilla has been picked off. Timing once again in Neo's favor as the rest of the CCG try to make up for it a little bit desperately as well. Gordon's found one trip to follow up. Gordon actually finding 2, but Obi now isolated on the side. Neo a little bit too far, so Corrin gets a 1v1 at least for the time being, but Neo's now caught up. It's a 1v1. The pistol shots connected. Neo gets 3k to tie up the scoreline yet again, 5-5.
A round that CCG had no business losing. The op saved proves to be the deciding factor there in Flicked.
I mean, it's just that's like the second or third round where one single r- weapon has been the major thing that CCG haven't been able to figure out. Like in that second or third round, which G3 won, they couldn't deal with that MP9 or Calamity actually. This time around, it's Neo's up, and he continues to deliver with it. The Tech 9s, though, coming into the mix. Chinchilla, he finds one in return. Neo gets two in retaliation himself with that Eagle, looking for his third, and the beautiful
What?
headshot to succeed it. Just living with 3 HP, will eventually fall, but he's done enough for his team. 4K for him, only need one more to confirm their sixth.
Yeah,
Quite a
Neo was on.
lot of team damage coming through, but eventually will finish things off.
Yeah, Neo was on for the ace there, and again, it was nothing more than a very light investment from the side of CCG. Now I mean, Curran wants that AK and immediately refunded it, realizing the rest of his team don't really have the money. Kind of a really weird force buy situation.
I mean,
I mean, it's 6 to 5. You're force
last
buying
round.
here. Just I don't understand the call there. Like, wouldn't you want a full save and play for a sixth?
I mean, their investment was not as major still, and they were probably hoping that maybe they can either take some weapons away or get the bomb down, which would help them economically a little bit further. But unfortunately, just did not happen. The one AK that they had has been dropped. Will get picked up. No worries there. But Trip has been weakened up quite a lot as well, and he's the one holding the Galil. So only two rifles in the play for CCG, and both of them are gonna have to have a good conversion rate. One of them immediately traded out. The Tech 9 will eventually connect, but Florited got extremely weak in the process. Corin follows up with 2 versus 2. CCG back into the race for this round. The bomb needs to get planted and the rifle perhaps picked up for Corin for them to have a better chance at this because they've run out of utility.
Yeah, now a 2v2 is... The bomb does get planted, but this post plan is not good for CCG. A quick peek. Neo's going to destroy him on the bomb site. And a quick jump down as well. They know time is ticking off the clock. Here we go. Trip is
1v1.
there, has won. It's Trip versus Neo. Trip just has to play for time. They know exactly where he is. Playing right around the smoke. Neo can find him and does. Does he have the time?
He does, a defuse kit. And that should be the first time we see a 2-round lead for any of these teams. And perhaps at the right time for G3 as well. CCG, though, wouldn't be too sad about this half. 5-round wins. I mean, they could pretty much tie things up solely off of the pistol round win if it's a decisive one, and they can deny the bomb plant. Not usually the case in Overpass. Teams mostly get away with the bomb plant, but
This
if they're
needs to be a pistol round win for the side of CCG.
yeah, well that helps.
Whoops.
That's the second or third time. Oh god.
Friendly fire, question mark? Really weird. Anyway,
I mean, it's a
eh,
headshot. Trip would have gotten it
we're
regardless.
about to have a bloodbath over here towards Connector. There is just a metric ton of people here. No one's prepared for the Casper himself. It's Jay Casper. He's here with the dualies, has the double kill. And that will be it. Pushes back out towards short. It is a 4-on-1. Make that 4v0. There's your convincing pistol round inflict.
No bomb plant went their way either. Hence, it has to be a save for the side of G3. Hence, CCG should be allowed to go back up 7-7 and tie things up. Perhaps. Wait a second. Is it a? Oh well, they're forcing. Surely not. There you go. There's the refunds. But except Calamity, of course, the man who can't stand working with a pistol. So he has that Mac 10 out, equivalent of the MP9 for the T side, sort of. So he's gonna try to work his magic just on the other side this time around. Last time, quite effective. Was able to win his team the round, but is he gonna be able to replicate that success?
Gonna be really difficult to do here as we have a buy that's come out from CCG. It's Deagles and a Mac 10 We might see that Mac 10 armor actually do some sort of entry here to one of the bomb sites. But these Deagles, we've seen how deadly they can be, especially Neo, the quad kill from them already in the
Oh,
first half of play. And there we go again. I said it. Be careful with Neo and a Deagle, but Jay Casper and an MP9 proves to be more pivotal. As now Trip will rotate his butt back to the A bomb site. Chinchilla clears out Monster, and right now it's 4v2. Orby could have a nice kill here on to, oh, the unfortunate timing for Chinchilla. And that will be a 3v1. They know where the last player is. You see them already lurking to Bath and outside a connector. Orberly is all but done here. Does he have a... They have no gun. They have just a Deagle. Orberly has so many angles to clear. Two players ready for the push. Casper looking for
okay.
another kill. Pre-fired. See you later. The bomb isn't planted. The bomb is still bathroom. That was ballsy.
A little too close for CCG's comfort, but they come out with a win, and
A little.
yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, it's okay. Give them some credit. Those Deagle shots were insane.
Anyway.
Couldn't realistically do anything when you're Corin and when you're casually jumping for information and get headshotted in your very first jump.
Nah.
There was literally nothing Corin did wrong there except jump. That too for your information. So that was all Neo's aim being absolutely phenomenal there. But
Neo is cracked with
regardless,
the Deagle.
yeah, Neo and Obi.
We have
Obi
a
has
pause
had.
coming out, so Inflict, this gives us a chance to reflect just a little bit here. What have you really noticed here so far?
I mean, honestly, with how consistent both of these teams have been on either side, actually, this game is easily gonna go to the lens.
If you say overtime, I'm leaving
I'm
this Discord call right now.
overtime. But I mean, let's be
Kidding.
honest with how both of these teams are playing. And with how their map pools align with each other as well. It's the most realistic chance of OT happening than we've ever had, and we've seen quite a lot of OTs, even triple OTs in some games as well. But CCG though, now on the favorable side, they've won 2 rounds. They've chained 2 rounds together. Uh, I mean, honestly, they are in a favorable positioning so far. But the question is if they can keep it up or not. Because if they can win 5 rounds on the T side and keep things extremely close, so can G3. Both of these teams are absolutely phenomenal. Hence why we see them compete in the top 16 of the playoffs.
For sure. Now, we do have a technical timeout being called. We're waiting for one player to reconnect here back into the server.
If Calamity is gone, CSG would be quite happy about that. They wouldn't have to deal with that annoying SMG. Never
You
mind.
can just say it for what it is. I don't have to deal with Calamity's annoyingness over
Yeah.
towards B.
I mean, his main annoying thing has been that SMG, that
It's meant,
MP9.
well, not only that, like, one of the annoying things that we're seeing from... that we've seen from Calamity is the monster pushes and taking monster control away from CCG.
Yeah. But sides have switched. Calamity, he's gonna have to
That is
readjust his
true.
game.
And everyone's reconnected.
Yeah. And speaking of connected, CCG quite aggressive. Almost went to push up over towards connector, but are gonna back off instead. They're just gonna let G3 have it peacefully. And are all of them holding just all the way back, and it makes sense as well. They have three MP9s, so they want to play at those closer angles. They can't afford
Yep.
to take too many long range battles. But what works out more for them is the fact that there's not a lot of utility remaining except smokes. That smokes is all that G3 have to work with, so they can cut off vision for a little bit, but after that, the MP9s, if they're close by, they can dominate the site. Although they do have to deal with those AKs, of course.
Little playful fire back and forth between the Covey player and the Sandbags player. Orin is unfortunately going to get caught with a nade out by Neo, but backed up by J. Casper. The bomb is going to start rotating over to A.
Come on.
It's a 2v2 split right now. 2 towards A. The call's being said. We have B. Come back to B, and it's a save from CCG. And G3 get the lead back.
Is it? Are they Trip's still close by. He still wants to have a peek.
He wants an exit kill or two, but and G3 get the lead back there. Apparently, it's Trip's birthday, which I had no idea of. That or somebody in chat is trolling the casters.
We'll have confirmation if it is in the interview.
Right, confirmation. Someone get us his birth certificate or driver's license. And there it is. Calamity takes out Trip. Now Floor Idiot's going to do everything that he can to hold on to this M4. The problem is, here they all come. The pincer attack comes in, and nothing can be saved.
That's unfortunate for Floor Idiot, but CCG again on the back foot. 1 round down, not a lot of money to work with, and now they have to deal with the pressure of the terrible economy that the CD side has in the game at the moment. Forcing into this one, Corin with that Hero M4. The rest, all of them just working with pistols. We see a couple of Deagles, a 5.7 and a USB. CCG, not a lot of Deagle action we've seen from them so far in this game, but on the T side you don't really have to do it as often. But that's an important frag. Neo falls a key player for the side of G3 so far, and that's an AK that's allowed to be picked up as well. Trip finds another, so CCG getting stronger and stronger by the time in this round.
Calmos with the beautiful just one tap.
Surprisingly, the AK still hasn't been picked up by CCG. It was in their threshold.
Calmos launches a ridiculous amount of utility over towards Graffiti. Smoke is out for the players. CCG can attempt the retake. Chinchilla already on the bomb, trying to bait out anybody.
Oh yes, Casper on the flank. 9-1 headshot. There's the second.
And TMK nowhere near the bomb, but does it need to be? Has to, and they don't have a choice. Floor Idiot has to go for this defuse. Still trying to bait out TMK. TMK all the way from T-spot in a 1v3 clutch.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's gonna hurt bad. Jay Casper had set up such a nice flank, gets those 2 frags, helps his team back onto the side. The timing was absolutely immaculate, but TMK played that to perfection. CCG, with the desperation of not having a defuse kit, are forced to take that fight.
If you all are just tuning in, I am WXFan21, joined by Inflict on CoComs, AppCon, our producer. This is the first map of a best-of-3 series between CCG Esports and G3. This is CCG's map pick of Overpass. Next, we head to Ancient, and should we need it, Anubis is our decider. Orberly already has 2 kills. It's nothing more than somewhat of a save round here. TMK continuing to pad those stats. 9-7, about to be 10-7. And the first 3-round lead that we are going to see of this map. And G3 came to play today.
They certainly did. And so did Jake Casper. Nice headshot there from him. And another. But there's absolutely no shot he wins this round, though, as Soup will finish them off. And Jake Casper don't exactly have quite a lot of stuff to work with. But CCG finally going to get their shot at some sort of a redemption in the CT side now, as they get to go with a full buy yet again. But this is the biggest lead that we've seen so far in this map. 3-round lead for G3, currently sitting 3 rounds away from closing out the map as well. But CCG, they lose this round, their chances are gonna get even further slimmer of winning this map. They win it. Things are still close, but their economy will be absolutely abolished though if they lose. So it'll be extremely difficult for them to make a comeback after that.
Corin doing what he can to hold over here. Heads back to front bath. TMK comes up through connector. Corin kind of stuck. Eats a nade. No real armor for him. He's going to get taken out with no problem. Back to a 4v4. Now Calamity, once again, causing issues over on B for CCG. No surprise there. Here comes Floor Idiot all the way up from B. 11-7 is going to be the scoreline unless Chinchilla can somehow win what seems like a very improbable 1v4 clutch. CCG have had enough of the overtimes. They have had enough of being told that they're not the best in advance. This is what they are made of. This is their map pick, even though they've lost 4 rounds in a row. They're never say, dude, look at Chinchilla as he just immediately starts pushing towards bathrooms and towards the A bomb site, trying to play for a couple exit kills. But again, no, he does have a kit. Maybe some sort of a ninja defuse. Or maybe just gets his butt taken out.
Yeah, at this point, he has to back off.
Yeah, he has no choice. There's not enough time on that bomb. He is going to go for the ninja. He's going for the ninja. He wants it.
Not.
He's going.
No!
1 second. Almost had it. Almost had it. Costs another member of G3 their rifle. Had it been another second, that would have been a round in CCG's favor. I like it. All the way for the ninja defuse. Unfortunately, doesn't go his way. It's 11-7. And right now, CCG have a choice. Are they going to play for overtime? Or are they going to try winning it and not have them get 12 on the side of G3? They are playing for overtime. It's an eco buy.
Not a great start in this round, but realistically had no shot as well. As you said, they're mostly just playing to go for an OT here. OTs have worked out pretty nicely so far, but the problem is going to be getting there for CCJ this time around, as the lead has pretty much grown to a 5 since Gordon is the last member alive for CCG. Spots out another, almost got away with that kill, but both of them are really weak now. The nade's not going to help. He will fall to it.
Yeah, not getting away from that nade. Calmoose, really no surprise, like beautifully well done from Calmoose. And now it's map point for G3. Again, this is CCG's map pick. If we head to Ancient, which is the map pick of G3. And Flick's already mentioned it. That is a map that we see G3 play a lot of during this season. It's a map that they are clearly comfortable with. So the comeback starts now. Double up setup for the side of CCG. See if it pays out for him. Calmoose already here over to Monster. Calamity backing him up over towards Sandbags. And Calamity causing Calamity over on... That could be the map, but here comes CCG rotating to Heaven and Graffiti respectively. Corin out by Graffiti. Casper up in hand. Molotov trapped in the smoke. He needs Corin to do something. Corin's got one. Jay Casper's going to need a little bit of help. And there it is. Casper one. No choice. Drops down. Time ticking away. Heads on over. Taps the bomb. Picks up a rifle. This is for another round. Casper falls. It's a 13-7 victory for the side of G3.
Oh boy. That retake, it looked realistic. Nick Asper didn't have enough ammunition in the magazine. Only 17 bullets when he picked it up. Some went through the smoke and the spray, and I mean, honestly, a nice effort nonetheless. Though CCG, they kept it close for as long as they could. I mean, honestly, until up to 7-7, the game had not been a two-round lead. After that, something just clicked for G3, and it felt like every readjustment that CCG were making, they had an answer for it. G3, they were completely prepared to take it. And surprisingly, the T side was where they felt like much more of a dominant team, and that CCG's map pick already gone away in quick succession.
Yeah, for sure. As there are some highlights being shown on your screen right now of some of the action. Um, and Flick, before we send this on over to an intermission, there were some things that kind of really stood out. This probably being one of the most impactful that we saw was Calamity just holding that angle there, getting that kind of swung a little bit of momentum the way of. But on a CT sided map, G3 looked really comfortable on the T side. What did you see out of G3's T side that kind of gave CCG fits?
I mean, honestly, CCG were just struggling to enter into sites with their most of their executions being over towards the B side. The crossfires that were set up, sorry, the crossfires that were set up for by CCG, their timings were just off. I mean, to some extent, I guess you could say that some of those fights were isolated by CCG themselves when we saw them getting aggressive over towards toilets or connector. There was no realistic chance for the kills to be traded out, as we saw Corrin play quite a lot over towards toilets, and he tried to damage Corrin or Jay Chinchilla. They tried to find a frag, and sometimes they were able to do it, but in most cases, they actually fell quite early on, and there was nobody close by to get that trade either. And over towards B, the timings were just off. We saw quite a lot of moments. One in particular was just 2 rounds ago, where we saw, I believe it was Strip, who was just jumping from pillar to water, trying to back off and perhaps rotate over towards A. But the timing was off. He got caught off guard, and that's just sort of what the case has been in those early rounds for G3. That's really just helped them out.
Yeah. Well, folks, we're going to send this over to a break real quick. So you get up, you walk around, get yourself some water. We'll be back with map 2 of Ancient right after this. We're back, folks. Did you miss us? We missed you. Inflict, we're heading to map 2 of Ancient. Again, a map that is G3's playground. This is a map that they have played multiple times this season. You said it yourself. You did the research. They love playing on Ancient. Tell us what we can expect to see from G3 on Ancient.
There is some good news that CCG will be starting on their favorable side, which I believe is which they're gonna decide to be C2 probably. So chances are they're probably gonna have a good start to it, but they're gonna have to have that mental reset as well, because that end to the first map, not pretty whatsoever. And although sure, G3, they've played it quite a lot in the last. But in the very recent few weeks, they've actually had 3 losses on it, and the wins that they've had, some of them, sure, they have been decisive, but quite a lot of them have been really close. In CCG, I think they can put up a real challenge in this, because sure, they haven't played it in recent dates as much, but they've had some reps down as well now in their playoff games, and they do have experience on this map quite a lot in prior seasons as well. So I think CCG have a realistic shot to push us to a map number 3.
We'll see. Like I said, Ancient is a map that, kind of like the new Inferno, can really go back and forth.
First kill goes the way of G3 though. No back and forth for the time being, but eventually that will be, as Jake Casper neutralizes. Immediately traded out by Sue this time around. And the bomb down as well. 4 versus 3 for the retake. CCG, a smoke and a defuse kit to help them out in the situation, as the captain leading the charge back into the site. He's taken Neo out. looking for more. Tag down to just single digit of an HP, but Su now on the flank, trying to pinch the rest of the players. Will be able to successfully do so as Obi cleans the house by finishing off JJ Chinchilla in the first round, comfortably going the way of G3.
Yeah, Obi, Obi Lee, call me Sue, not call Moose. Sorry. I apologize to the players. So Obi Lee, or we'll just call them Obi. Nice double there, and call me Sue. Also a really nice double.
Yeah.
So we were checking. There's a reason G3 is so good. You know, we talked about last map, Calamity, how much trouble that they gave CCG. Well, Calamity currently 13th in FPL. Call Me Sue is ranked 15th. These are very high-end players. Not saying CCG aren't either, but right now you're playing at that next level caliber player, which is really testing CCG skills right now. Grip is going to be lucky to come away with that kill.
That's two with a shotgun for him. But his teammates, they cannot seem to keep up. Gasper, though, eventually will meet the standards as he has found one and the rotation has been forced up. The timing, absolutely perfect for Chinchilla. He puts a headshot in, but it's not lethal enough. Hence, the player gets to live to see another day. The bomb goes down and the retake is on. No defuse kit, no utility whatsoever for CCG as well. Just a couple of MP9s in a dream to take this round back and tie up the score very early on. That's a
They're
realistic one as well.
hoping.
Yeah.
They are hoping at this point. Why are we hoping? Because it is a bomb site plan on B. Neo and Call Me Sue. Call Me Sue's hit points might be the deciding factor here, though. Sue just does not care. Because there you go. Sue has both the kills. It's 2-0 for the side of G3.
A good little read from the side of the remaining two players of G3 to have played all the way back. They were anticipating CCG to be on the flank to try and set something up from all the way backward towards middle or despawn. And that certainly was the case. Hence a comfortable 2v2 crossfire being set up for G3 to be able to confirm their early 2-round lead. And CCG yet again on the back foot, working with just pistols and grenades, but those grenades are highly effective as they convert a frag. In retaliation, it's going to be Sue that deals the same card.
Kills going all over the place. Luckily enough, with just these pistols, CCG are able to get 2, but 2's not going to be enough here against G3.
They're not even close. Corin just 17 HP, realistically not going to get out of this one alive. Oh, we puts him to bed.
Like, if they were able to find a gun, definitely more of a chance. But we're not able to retrieve any of the guns. Oh, look at this. Trip spots some Zeus kill and can't get the second because the Zeus is now rechargeable. So, well, there you go. We gotta try, but we do have a Zeus kill. Just pretty exciting. What is not exciting right now is if you're a CCG fan, you're a little concerned. Down 3-0 going into the first buy round. With the way G3 look right now, this needs to be as clean of a round as you can get, in my opinion. But here we go. Double man push down mid. Orbi is going to be able to find one, but is in the Molotov. Get traded by Corin. But Corin is going to take a good amount of damage and will fall to Calamity. Trip, though, with the double kill. Able to make things interesting. Backed up by Floor Idiot coming in towards the back of B. Makes their way over the long. Here comes Floor Idiot. Full flash, though. But a determ pushing out long. And that's a kill on Call Me Sue. It's now a 1v2 Floor Idiot and Trip versus Sue. Excuse me, it's Chinchilla, not Trip. And Neo. Oh, we've said that name multiple times on this cast before. Neo has the clutch.
Oh, you just cannot lose those 1 versus 2s. You cannot lose those 2 versus 4s. We've seen so many of them conceded by CCG just in the playoffs alone. You have to fix those minor mistakes. You have to fix those timings that where you get caught off guard, where you isolate the fight for the opposition yourself. It's gonna punish you, and it constantly has. CCG now down by 4 once again for working with an eco, sort of a half buy actually, as 4 pistols have been invested into. We see some utility, some armor, and an MP9 for them, but realistically, not a great look in this round. Chinchilla spotted out, not going to be too difficult for Obi to finish him off, and an early man advantage, a 2-man advantage, as Sue finds another Floridia deals some damage in return, but still no weapons picked up, only 3 pistols remaining. Make that 2 as Foreign goes down as well. Last one alive. That's Jay Casper. And
Jake,
even,
G3 just having fun.
yeah.
Friendly fire on each other. They're just having fun at this point. G3 just, they feel right at home on this map. You can just tell by the executes, the nades, the positions, the map control, the whole package. They feel so comfortable.
Yeah. Their map awareness on this as well, as you said, it's phenomenal. They could just tell that the last player was over towards, likely over towards Donut, because they cleared everything out. So being able to just mentally eliminate areas where you have cleared things out and be able to quickly read into where the player can still be, it's highly impactful. Hence we see the 5-0 lead, an absolutely phenomenal start from G3, but CCG, they need to retaliate and they need to do so quickly. They cannot let G3 run away this with such a great lead in the first half. Do you want to wait? Corin actually found a team
Yeah.
kill.
That's unfortunate team damage there. It's not what you want to see. However, 2v4. Now 2v3. It's 6-0, and CCG fans at this point are feeling probably really nervous right about now. A round that had a team kill in it, but it was a very good competitive battle back and forth here through mid. Unfortunately, it was the side of G3 that were able. Are we witnessing the collapse of CCG?
So far on Ancient, yes. I mean, not a single round win on a map which they have a fair bit of experience on as well. G3 are making them look like they have never played this before. It's like their first time on the map, and the consistency of it makes it even more worse as 2 players once again fall, and the aggression, it just doesn't stop. The utility to further make it burn, it doesn't help whatsoever. 2 players for G3 have fallen, but still 3 versus 3. No weapons picked up, just an M4, no defuse kits either.
Playing for exits right now are CCG. And Sue just spraying through the smoke, trying to deter anyone else from pushing. It is going to be an AK found. Rifle held over. And they're going to hope.
10-0.
Yeah, CCG going to hope that these saved rifles are going to do something in the next round. But look at the economy inflict. Look at this. 2 players already over 10,000 on the side of G3. They have absolutely no concerns about anything right now.
Not at all. Not even concerned too much about what CCG want to do. It's pretty much just been, what do G3 want to do? They've worked with their execution, not worried about how CCG are gonna retaliate, and their execution have worked out flawlessly so far. I mean, the round count is flawless, so that's some real good proof about it. TMK gets tagged a little bit through the wall. The timing's great. The flash absolutely beautiful. Hence the first blood again going the way of CCG, but the question is, can they hold on to it? Because they have found the first frags in quite a few rounds. But holding on to is the problem. Calamity again neutralizes. Obi finds one. Corn retaliates. Neo will finish him off. Drip. Good timing. 2 versus 2. Bomb all the way over towards B main. Dropped.
This is a really weird looking map. 1A, 1 CT, 1 by T, and then 1 stuck in cave Jaguar area with the bomb way outside of B doors.
I think it's gonna be everything here. Florida gets it. Oh, gonna open up the A side and clear it out actually. But that should make the move happen over towards B for the D side. It's gonna be Sue moving on, planting the bomb. Still has a full kit of utility available to dispense. The smoke goes out. 1 versus 2. Both of the remaining players for CCG quite far away from each other, but they're gonna regroup, try to play for the trade, and since they only have 1 defuse kit to work with, even if one player dies, the other would like to pick it up. But Floridian walks through the smoke all on his own. Again, the same mistake, isolated fight out. And Drip, he's just gonna have to go for a gamble to sort of defuse it. Or never mind, he's just baiting the player out. Successfully does so. Will get the frag. Picked up the defuse kit as well. Why does it so like when he doesn't have a defuse kit, but for some
He
reason
did
it
not
shows
have
under
a
his name?
defuse kit, was able
But
to get there before the timer started. So CCG will have their first.
that was gold still. This is the moment I was talking about. Floridian just walked through the smoke. I believe they had a flash as well, so I'm not entirely. Actually, they did flash for main side. Floridian not anticipating somebody to be not pushing, anticipating Sue to be pushed up all the way. So they just wanted to approach the side and sort of have a crossfire while they were heading into the side. Not exactly an isolation problem, but
There's
this
some
one is.
aggression from CCG. Finally take a little bit of catwalk control, which we have not really seen this entire game. Or at least on this map. Sue remains in a 1v3 clutch. We've seen her have really great double kills. Can she come away with this insane 1v3? We'll see if they can. Here comes Floridian. To be able to clear out Cubby. And Sue will have the isolated duel. If you're CCG, you can't give over those isolation duels to these caliber of players. And Trip and Corin are not going to allow that to happen. It is a 2v1. They both are over here to mid. Sue has to push into this. They know it. Head spotted, and CCG will get their second. Oh, maybe they can breathe a little bit easier now, as they have a couple of rounds on the board.
A little bit though. They still are on the CT side, which is somewhat favorable. Not as much as perhaps it was on Overpass, but it's still somewhat favorable on Ancient, and they have not had a good start to the game as well. This is again the losers bracket. CCG already down a map. They lose one more map amongst the next possible two, and then they're out of the playoffs. So they have to win this. They have to be flawless in terms of their map victories right now. So far, their comeback has been good. 2 kills go their way. Calamity forced to reload, pulls out the pistol, but couldn't pick up the weapon. Trip finds him. 2 players remain. It's gonna be Sue and Neo to potentially pull this round back for the side of G3. And Neo, good shots through the smoke, reads Trip perfectly to tie up the numbers.
Calamity's struggling this map a little bit.
Somehow. Okay.
Oh, nice kill from Corin. That's bomb, by the way.
The kill or the bomb itself. Could be both.
That's unfortunate for Sue. Has to go into this 1v2, and they have CCG had the angles. It is 3 rounds in a row for CCG. It just seems like consolation victories at this point, with how dominant the G3 have looked on this map.
Yeah. I mean, all of these rounds, which we saw CCG lose, it just felt like they weren't playing their own game. Instead, they were playing around how G3 wanted them to play. But finally, that we see some aggression from CCG. Last round they pushed up over towards middle. This one they pushed over towards B. Both of them it worked out for them. So now that they're playing back on their own play style, it's been a lot more better. It's been a lot more prettier. A 2v2 trade to kick things off again. Corin. Oh, bad timing. Jake Asper wanted to trade it, but gets caught in the process himself, leaving only one player behind. And what worked out for CCG in the last couple of rounds, CG3 have readjusted accordingly to put that one shot at victory to
I
rest
have
as well
no
for
idea how
CCG.
CCG lost that. That's very.
I
That's
mean,
confusing. They had mid control. Like, we weren't able to see on cams, but I wonder if it was just duels that was isolated. But that
well,
happened so quickly.
well, the first kills were a sort of a two trade for either side, so it
Right,
came
but
down
when
to a
we're
3 versus 3.
3v3 and you have, your CCG and your good spots, I'm just really wondering what happened.
It honestly just came down to the timing that Corn got. He was jumping up onto the box to head over towards B, and that's exactly when the player whoever it was for G3 present over towards middle pushed out the smoke. Corn was not prepared for it because he was jumping up the box. He tried to flick on it, did I think put one bullet on the body, but not the headshot. Hence the off timing caught him off guard. Jake Asper wanted an immediate trade. He pushed out over towards Donut. Of course, was audible since he was getting aggressive. God gets picked off there as well. So those were two 1v1 fights. Corin, he just had a bad timing. Jay Casper wanted to retaliate, but the fight just simply didn't go his way. He lost his duel, and hence a 3 versus 1. The end result of that, not so pretty. Never going to be pretty either unless you can pull off a miracle. Again, a bad start for CCG in this one, though. They can't find the equalizing trade. They still have a man disadvantage to work with, even after Jane Casper gets that frag. So no defuse kits anymore for CCG to work with in the last round of the first half.
This is still a very winnable 2v3.
Look
And
at Crep.
CCG, to
He's
their
great.
credit, have actually looked really solid on the bounce back. But right now, they're just playing up against a very high caliber of G3. Neo is still over here towards mid, which is rather... Does not have a
What?
AK out, but apparently didn't need it.
Okay.
And a
That's
9-3
different.
scoreline. We head into the second half of Ancient with CCG needing to pull off a miracle to send this to Anubis. What'd you see, Inflict?
I'm just honestly, I'm considering what is it that CCG can do because with how we've seen G3 play, they'll likely be getting aggressive on the CT side as well. So CCG, first thing first, they need to win this pistol. They need to have a strong start to make this comeback realistic. It's a 6 round deficit. Sure, it may not seem a lot, and it can vanish quickly if things are going your way. But given how close the even the first game was, and how it ended up as well, and how strong the start, how G3 have kept the momentum in their favor heading into the second map as well. CCG have quite a lot to figure out in just the spam of the next 4 rounds.
Nice bomb plant, though. Nicely done. Look at these kills through the smoke. Chinchilla trying to save his team along with Jay Casper. It's 3-2, and Chinchilla with the dually looks like something out of an old. But G3 get their 10th and are now 3 rounds away from advancing in the lower bracket.
And eliminating CCG while they do so. CCG have had one solid season so far. probably their best showing ever since I've been around, at least, which have been, I believe, the last 4 seasons. Certainly is their best performance in terms of their placement in the regular season and their run in the playoffs as well. But can they keep it going is the real question.
That is the question as execute onto A comes in. And Chinchilla just throwing caution to the wind. As he pushes through Temple with little to no problem. And here go those Tech 9s again. Chinchilla's got the double with the Tech 9s. This is what you need if you're CCG to begin some sort of a comeback. Beautiful boost by Trip. Nicely done. And that'll be the CCG's 4th. But how realistic can this comeback actually be?
I mean, when the opposition hits 11, that's where the mental thing hits that, okay, we're about to lose. We have to do that. Now we have to do something insane to be able to pull it off. But when they're at 10, you sort of still have one small threshold that even if your economy gets broken down, you're gonna have one real shot back at it, or you're gonna have one more full rifle round to make that comeback happen and fight at least for overtime. So they need to win as many rounds as they can before they concede that 11th. This one,
Agreed.
thankfully, should be an easier one for them because G3, all of them on pistols. They do have armors, uh, so the utility might not be as effective from CCG, but the rifles, they certainly can be.
It's look good so far, though. It is a full buy here from the side of G3. Full buy whatever you can actually get with it with just these deagles. And whatever upgraded rifles that you can get. Trip, though, has an isolated duel. Already spots this player out over here. Traded out by Sue, though. That's a rifle, most likely in Sue's hands. But an execute on A. Nice lurk from Trip. It is going to be an isolated 2v2. CCG have buckled and folded. They had a 4v2 advantage. Has now become a straight 2v2. Now it's up to Corin and Floor Idiot to try making something happen. 45 seconds on the clock. Sue's got one. Floor Idiot has the bomb and is fast rotating to B. He's not going to be heard. He's going to have an open B bomb site. They're looking. They're not finding anything on the flank. Floor Idiot is an absolute genius. Big brain plays now. Floor Idiot in a 1v2.
Brain might be massive.
Don't push
But
this. Don't push it. Oh, behind. Inflict, look at this. They're not ready for it. Down goes one. The other player has very few hit points on the defuse, though. Realizing there's no kid. No, he falls. Put the rifle back away, but still. Should have enough time, maybe, kinda, sorta. Yeah, it's a deep, and that's 11. Floor Idiot may or may not have broke their keyboard or through their mouse.
Hopefully not yet. Although it
That's
may feel like
unfortunate.
it, but CCG are not out. Not just not yet. They still have some fight remaining.
Why? I don't get pulling the knife out there.
He wanted to run faster. He thought that the player was taking it, and I mean he was Florid was right about it. But Neo, he had a better read of the situation. That he heard Florid getting a little too aggressive. He knew that there was no chance. He had 5 more seconds to defuse. But Floridia doesn't know if the player has a defuse kit or not, so he needs to be as quick as possible.
There. Just a missed opportunity. Floridia's going to want that one back when he reviews the demo. But as of right now, Inflict, an 11-4 scoreline. This is possibly all she wrote. They needed that last round at CCG, were unable to get it. Kudos to Floridia, though, he tried. As much as it seemed confusing to pull out a knife, that was very well done by... To try to rush to still try to get him off the defuse. Right now, minute floor, no defuse needed right here. Nice boost from Jake Casper. And
Oh,
this,
good.
say these are the isolations that CCG are so good at. I
Or
say that as Calamity's got two, and this entire round is starting to fall apart. Trip, and is able to take out TMK.
map and serious point avoided.
That is for
Keeping
sure.
G3 at bay for the time being. Forcing into this one's still surprising. I mean, sure, G3, they don't have to worry about money or anything for at least a few rounds because they can force as much as they want. They have such a comfortable cushion to sit on for the time being with that 11-5 lead and being so close to just win out the whole series at this point.
Yeah, nothing's comfortable about this map.
Yeah, but the
Even
most discomfort is going
money-wise,
to be for
nothing's
CCG.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Nothing's comfortable. Look at a Mac 10. We get a Mac 10 on Chinchilla.
MP9 on
Oh,
Calamity.
clearly that Mac 10 might have been by design. Did you see that push from Chinchilla?
Uh, okay. Scary for a moment, but Trip. The amount of fights Trip and Calamity have had is actually insane because Calamity has usually been the one that pushes out at odd angles, and Trip, since he is the lurker, he's the first respondent to that such fights. Important frags. Floridian and Chinchilla, both of them finding one to their name. Goran wants to add to his tally as well and is successfully able to do so. Took a few shots, but got there
Poor
eventually.
Obi.
Yeah.
Poor Obi just peeked
Hey,
out of Red House
they're on the
and
verge of
saw
winning.
his three Ts.
They're on the verge of winning. There's nothing poor about Obi right now. Neo, maybe not the same case. Anyhow, sixth round secured CCG. 2 rounds in a row now.
For
Perhaps,
sure.
perhaps some hope being rekindled in them.
Well, this will be an 11-7 scoreline before we see any kind of buy come out from the side of G3. This is where if you're CCG, you need to lock this in. Lock in a clean round. And just really start putting the pedal to the metal. Because they've definitely taken their foot off the gas a few times, in my opinion. Comes Trip pushing
Awkward
out on
timing.
me. Hey, look! It's Trip versus Calamity again.
Different result this time. Calamity gets his revenge
Yeah, the one
from
bot rifle, that MP9, proved to be pivotal.
like it has been quite a few times already in this series. But CCG still sort of with the upper hand in terms of arsenal. Not in terms of manpower, though. Well, not anymore. Chinchilla ties then that up. Obi, what a shot. As soon as the smoke fades in, Obi gets one. Gasper holding down the flank. Should be able to pick off TMK with ease. So 3 versus 3. Obi's location known, dealt with. The remaining two entering onto the side. Realistically, no space allowed. And CCG put up their 7th. Only a 4-round deficit among both of these two teams now.
Yeah, a couple players falling there. Not the greatest for CCG. However, not the worst either.
No, they have good money in the bank now.
But now, Inflict, this is it. A make or break round for both teams. Well, make or break round for CCG. There's plenty of padding still for the side of G3. You see the full investment come out, as it is going to be a two-man push towards mid, a quicker push up through cave into Jaguar.
Ooh,
Trip still
good nade.
doing a little circular. And hey, look, it might be Trip versus Calamity. Again.
Yeah, it's always just going to be the case. Goran, nice shots. I think he had just one minuscule of an audio cue from Neo and took complete advantage of it. Slow round, CCG. Moving back over towards B, Calamity tucked into a corner. 3 players of CCG for him to deal with. But if they don't check their corner, they might all just line up. But it's a crossfire. Sue moving close as well. Molotov in, players out. Calamity finds the first, traded out, but DMK to help him, and so is Sue. 2 versus 2. Uncalled for rhymes coming in, but something else uncalled for was Obi, that up close and personal with Corin, and DMK good on the trade to put the map and series point on board. One more round, and CCG will be eliminated.
Let's take a look at that again here on the replay. Call me Sue, backed up by their teammate. It is going to be an attempted push outside the B doors where CCG were able to win all the duels, just holding the bomb site that they just weren't able to do there. Did get down to the last person though, but it is map and series point for the side of G3, an elimination point that on for CCG, trying to not be eliminated here.
Oh
Is
no.
able to get the early advantage.
Sue is only good for one. Could have been a lot worse, but still alive. DMK, though, outwards don't, has fallen. That should allow the entry for CCG to come through for the A side. A 2 versus 3. A man advantage for them to work with. No defuse gets either, surprisingly, for the side of G3.
We're playing on.
Now they're
This
backing
map
off.
is far from over.
Maybe not far. It all depends how many rounds CCG can win. But that's a question that only CCG themselves can answer. How many more do they have in them? Can they push us to an OT? Can they bring Anubis upon us? Will we have a visit to the ancient Egyptian gods or temples? Or will CCG be buried in the jungle?
CCG are hoping it's not the latter. We are waiting right now for the next round here to commence as everyone is done. Everyone has bought. A really weird buy. Take a look at the buy here for G3. We got a saved AK, a couple MP9s. Like, this is a very strange buy.
Of course, it's Calamity, the one who's invested the most behind that MP9. Aggressive towards Cave, but CCG this time around not going to stick around towards B to find quite a lot of information out. Instead, fully execute over towards A. The read's perfect onto Neo as well. Hence an early 2-man advantage for CCG to work with.
Yeah, we're looking at a 12-9 scoreline here in Flicked.
After
This
that,
CCG looks way better.
Beautiful.
Clean round. Clean round. Beautifully done. This is what you wanted if you're CCG.
Yeah. Perhaps a little too late, but they have arrived on scene. And they're not done just yet.
Nope. Not going down without a fight. They want to force overtime.
Does Calamity just not know how to save?
Another MP9? So does Sue!
But
What
Sue
is
has had
going
money in the
on?
bank. Calamity has never had money in the bank.
I don't think Calamity cares. Oh, unfortunate. Just unable to finish off the kill on the donut player.
Okay.
Sue's going to upgrade to the AK. And now CCG are down a man. Jake Casper in a really interesting position over here towards Cat. Stuck outside of Jaguar Calamity. Jake Casper just waiting for his teammates to join Floor Idiot and Corin. with these positions. Jay
Good job.
Casper, and unfortunately for Calamity, had clear, but Sue's here to hold. Only
If
able to hold one.
Corin dies there, the game's pretty much done. But him breathing still gonna be absolutely key. Bomb goes down. A smoke to keep the players at bay, at least for the time being. Both of them just working with deagles.
And
Know
then
each other.
we see some life brought back into this game for CCG. Corin on 19 HP is gonna get TMK. The last player over towards the lane will fall. Corin with quad kill. 12 to 10. Inflict.
Oh,
You
this is getting
mentioned it.
very.
Their ancient maps of G3 go back and forth. Very close.
Oh boy. This is getting scary now. I'm getting nervous. I can't imagine what the players are going through for either of these two teams now.
Inflict needs a hug.
I need a win for CCG right here. A map win
He
at the very
want
least.
he wants a win. And hopefully we'll
CCG.
get one. 12 to 10. CCG trying to bring us to overtime. Yo with a beautiful offshot.
Oh, the flash. It
Flash
connects.
is good to get Neo out, but unfortunately Neo just once he was able to see, was able to get the kill. Now that is slow peeking an Opera, not what you want. Neo, unfortunately, has absolutely no chance. This nade's going to do a lot of damage. The nice Molotov will force them out of position. But
No.
Neo just too good. The Oppen. And that will be it. G3 have defeated CCG Esports 2-0. Your map scores Overpass 13 to 7. Ancient 13 to 10.
Yeah, not.
GG's to CCG on an absolutely amazing season. They should be very proud of themselves. And Inflict, I agree with you. This is the best that they have looked since I've been watching this team.
I mean, and given that they had a roster change as well at the start of the season, they had to not rebuild completely because it was only one player being swapped out, which was SRY, who was a very key component of the team. Of course, he was sort of the star player around which the team played a little bit. He had to get replaced out due to just the given circumstances, and Jake Casper was filling quite some massive shoes, and sort of restructured their team. They redefined themselves as well. Their map pool changed a little bit out, and hence why we didn't see them play as much ancient. Uh, but at the end, they improved. Their improvements were quite significant from what we saw at the very beginning of the season to what we saw until the end. Their fighting spirit, even in the last map, was quite phenomenal. They were down 10-4 to have to have almost tied it up and bring that map to a closure with a 13-10 scoreline speaks a lot about their ability. And G3 again, props to them. They were not a team to be messed with, as we said. Calamity, I think ninth or 13th right now in the FPL. Sue 15th as well. So their individual prowess speaks a lot about themselves. But as a team as well, they just were absolutely phenomenal today. CCG, great run so far, but just fell a little bit too short.
They did. This was an amazing season for CCG again. Just having a new teammate, learning new positions, trying to enable everyone to play off of new positions and doing it that way. Was it an undefeated season? No. Would you call this season a victory? Your first season in the playoffs with a new teammate? Yeah, this is an outstanding success for CCG as a whole.
Yeah, certainly. Honestly, they might there's you can have those theoretical, hypothetical situations as well. That what if this had happened and that had happened, or what would the situation be? Well, I'm actually gonna bring one up that the map with the game that they lost, uh, in the winners bracket, Scorn wasn't playing that game. They had Farrell, their substitute, playing in, and although Farrell did play quite good in those games, the they lost both of those maps in OTs, and had Corrin been there, I actually think the result would have been entirely different, and CCG would probably still be in the winners bracket. So it could have been anything, honestly. So a few things can change everything. A few timings, a few bad calls, a few miscommunication from for any team. They can make or break an entire run of the tournament. In CCG, they just got unfortunate in that particular matchup. This one, they didn't. They had a decent start. They kept things close on map number one. The end not as good. Their momentum in the second map was quite shaky as well, especially in the beginning. But they managed to reclaim at least a little bit. So there's still a lot of potential for CCG to grow on. That's certain. That's for certain, though, as they still continue to figure themselves out with sort of new roles, restructuring their team as well. So it's been quite a lot for them to deal with. They've had a longer season this time around as well, so they've had quite a lot more games, which have helped in their growth, and they're likely just only going up from or upwards from here.
Agreed. All right, Inflict, any last minute thoughts before I wrap us up and we get on out of here?
I mean, I'm just honestly waiting for the next season to start already. We've had quite a long one, this one, since this has been the longest playoffs run. So I'm just waiting to see how long the next one can be.
Absolutely. And as casters, we got some good news about season 49 that Inflict and I are very happy about. We no longer have to request the CSTV feeds. Hooray! Um, so
We we'll
so
win
looking
something
forward
anyway.
to that just being available like in the good old days. You can just go on ESEA, hit post what you want in the chat, and off you go. So at least we're somewhat getting back to that. All right. For Inflict, for our amazing producer AppCon, for all the CCG top brass, I'm WX Fan 21. We'll see you next season. Latest peoples.